Cannabis Common Sense, the show that tells the truth about marijuana and the politics behind its prohibition.
Hello and welcome to another exciting edition of Cannabis Common Sense. We have another great show for you this week. Over in the wings is Mr. John Cornett, ready to play us a tune. You got a Rasta song tonight, John?
Oh yeah, it's a kind of
Like that, yeah.
Irie. Next to me is that kindly crazy, definitely wild, Mr. Casper Leach.
Happy Friday, and tonight the role of Casper Leach is being performed by Sally Jesse Raphael.
He's pretty goofy too. So we have our Hemp News segment coming up. We'll be taking your phone calls in about 15 or 20 minutes. John will be providing musical accompaniment, some surprise video clips, so stay tuned as we bring on our infamous Dancing Cannabis Leaves.
I feel the force.
Okay. Earlier this week, New Jersey's Democrat Senator Cory Booker introduced the Marijuana Justice Act, a bill that, if passed, will legalize cannabis at a federal level and go even further in an effort to remedy many of the failures of the war on drugs. The legislation would remove cannabis from the Controlled Substances Act, ending federal prohibition of the plant. It would also cut federal funding for state law enforcement and prison construction if a state disproportionately arrests or incarcerates low-income individuals and or people of color for marijuana offenses. The bill would allow entities to sue states that disproportionately arrest or incarcerate low-income or people of color. And it prohibits deportations of individuals for marijuana offenses. The bill also provides for a process of expungement and resentencing for marijuana offenses at the federal level. Finally, the bill creates a community reinvestment fund of $500 million to invest in communities most impacted by the war on drugs for programs such as job training, reentry, and community centers. Senator Booker said in a statement, quote, "These marijuana arrests are targeting poor and minority communities, and they're targeting our veterans. We see the injustice of it all. When people of color are 4 times more likely to be arrested for marijuana possession than white people, when poor communities are targeted for marijuana enforcement while wealthy white people suffer none of the same oppression, you severely impact communities economically, you create crisis in families, you hurt people's long-term economic potential. This is the right thing to do for public safety and will help reduce our overflowing prison population." This is one of those issues where it's not about if we end prohibition of marijuana, it's about when. Please help me make that time now, end quote, said New Jersey Senator Cory Booker. Our next story is also from Washington, D.C. The Senate Committee on Appropriations last Thursday adopted an amendment commonly known as the Rohrabacher-Farr Amendment that prohibits the Department of Justice from using appropriated funds to prosecute those in compliance with their state's medical cannabis laws. Representative Sam Farr of California, who co-sponsored the amendment when it first passed in 2014, retired from Congress last year. Portland's own Representative Earl Blumenauer stepped in as the lead House Democrat pushing the provision. Offered by Senator Patrick Leahy of Vermont, the ranking member of the Senate Appropriations Committee, the provision provides the Senate's version of the Commerce, Justice, Science, and Related Agencies Appropriations Act for the fiscal year 2018. The amendment was adopted by a voice vote. Representative Rohrabacher said, quote, I applaud Senator Leahy's efforts to ensure the continued protection of patients who use marijuana for medicinal purposes in accordance with their state's laws. After pushing this amendment for well over a decade, I'm encouraged to see the consistent and growing support for this approach. It's just not right to prosecute individuals who are acting within the bounds of their state's medical marijuana laws, especially considering that overwhelming majority of Americans throughout the states disapprove of their tax dollars being spent this way, end quote. When asked if he's expecting a fight on the floor where he'll be forced to offer the amendment, Rohrabacher said he hopes there isn't one, quote, but if there is, clearly we will win, end quote. Since the appropriations rider must be renewed regularly, Rohrabacher has introduced the Respect State Marijuana Laws Act of 2017, also known as H.R. 975, which aims to extend the protections to recreational states and make the protections permanent in nature by amending the Controlled Substances Act directly. The legislation would make state legal marijuana activity legal under federal law. The bill currently enjoys the broad support of 12 Republican and 12 Democratic co-sponsors. Unusual these days. Former National Football League players Troy Smith and Eric Metcalf are pursuing one of the 60 dispensary licenses that Ohio will be issuing later this year. Smith, the 2006 Heisman Trophy winner, who was a fifth-round pick for the Carolina Ravens, has said that head trauma he suffered while playing professional football is one of the reasons he's involved in cannabis dispensaries. He said, quote, sports is a great thing to watch when you're snacking on chicken wings, but it's dead serious. We need to pay more attention to it and be more delicate, Smith said, end quote, adding that he is certain medical cannabis can be helpful for people with brain injuries. Smith and Metcalf have partnered with Jim Buchanan, a Seattle recreational marijuana store owner who used to live in Cleveland. Last month, the players gave public comment on draft regulations for dispensaries in Ohio. According to Ohio law, people must have at least one of 21 medical conditions to qualify for a doctor's recommendation to use medical cannabis. Cancer and chronic traumatic encephalopathy are two of those conditions, but concussions are not. State regulators are still working through the details of the Ohio program, which must be fully operational by September 8th of next year, 2018, according to the Ohio state law. The state has received 185 applications for 24 marijuana grow licenses last month. A popular game called Cards Against Humanity, an adult-themed party card game company out of Chicago, is putting some cash behind efforts to legalize recreational cannabis use in Illinois. To date, Cards for Humanity has donated $70,000 to the efforts to legalize cannabis in Illinois. Representative Kelly Cassidy, a state representative in Illinois and sponsor of the bill to regulate cannabis for adult use, is a fan of the card game. Representative Cassidy said, I even played it in Springfield with some of our colleagues. But part of the fun is that we know we're all letting our hair down a bit. So I'm going to honor the anonymity that Cards Against Humanity provides. It's an opportunity for some great laughs with friends. The biggest hurdles are going to be education and making sure in some way that elected officials understand that their constituents really want this, end quote. Jen Bain, the game community manager for Cards Against Humanity, said, quote, in a statement, the group will continue to donate proceeds from the sale of a $5 weed pack expansion to the game to end cannabis prohibition in Illinois. According to Jen, he said, quote, prohibition didn't work before and it doesn't work now. And that's why we really do see interesting partnerships on this, end quote. Chris Lindsay, formerly of Montana, working with the Marijuana Policy Project Senior Legislative Counsel, said cannabis prohibition has been a crime against humanity. Recent polling data from the Paul Simon Public Policy Institute shows that 66% of Illinois voters support regulating and taxing cannabis. Out of Austria, the co-administration of cannabidiol, or CBD, with the prescription drug Riluzole, marketed as Rilutech, is associated with the delayed onset of ALS, or amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, according to the case report published in the Journal of General Practice. A researcher reported that the administration of 300 milligrams of CBD twice daily was associated with limited progression of various ALS symptoms in a single patient. The authors wrote, quote, "It's concluded that co-medication with CBD may be able to slow down the progression of some, but not all the symptoms of motor neuron disease," end quote. Preclinical data indicates that cannabinoids possess neuroprotective properties that may hold promise in the treatment of brain diseases like ALS and multiple sclerosis. However, clinical trials assessing the efficacy of cannabis treatment in ALS patients has yet to be conducted. This study, co-medication with cannabidiol may slow the progression of motor neuron disease. A case report appears in the Journal of General Practice. Last story tonight is out of Amsterdam in the Netherlands. The regular use of cannabis by young people is not associated with hippocampal volume alterations in the brain, according to case-controlled longitudinal data published online in the journal Psychopharmacology. Investigators from the Netherlands and the United Kingdom conducted magnetic resonance imaging, or MRI, scans of patients' brains. The authors reported, quote, "Compared to controls, cannabis users did not show hippocampal volume alterations at either baseline or follow-up. Hippocampal volume increased over time in both cannabis users and controls, following similar trajectories of increase. Cannabis dose and age of onset of cannabis use did not affect the hippocampal volume." The authors concluded, quote, "Continued heavy cannabis use did not affect hippocampal neuroanatomical changes in early adulthood. This data suggests that cannabis users show the same developmental trends as normative samples, and that heavy cannabis use in this group may not necessarily interfere with hippocampal changes in neuroanatomy in early adulthood," end quote. The findings are consistent with other recent studies finding that the use of alcohol, but not cannabis, is negatively associated with specific structural changes in the developing brain. The full text of this study, longitudinal study of hippocampal volumes in heavy cannabis users, appears in the Journal of Psychopharmacology. That's the end of our Hemp News segment tonight. Now Mr. John Cornett is ready to sing and play his guitar.
Oh, yes, sir. I think I can do this. I never heard this song until this afternoon. It's called The Roots of It. And it's by a man named Yui. I don't know where he's from, but anyway, it goes kind of like this. Hey, 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 hey. This is the cannabis song. Hey, hey, yeah, hey, 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 hey. This is the cannabis song. If you know the truth of it, then you will know the root of it. If you know the roots of it, then you will know the truth of it. Hey, 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 hey. This is the cannabis song. Hey, 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 hey. This is the cannabis song. Now they have been hiding the truth for so long, trying to let people using herb is wrong. It's been there for 10,000s of years. Now it's time to drive away those fears. So come on, people, open up your ears. That's why we're singing it loud and clear. If you know the truth of it, then you will know the use of it. If you know the truth of it, then you will know the roots of it. Hey, 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 hey. This is the cannabis song. Hey, hey, hey. This is the cannabis song. Bob Marley said, "Excuse me while I light my spliff," knowing that the cannabis is a precious gift, because they told us so many times lies. For some people it might not be a surprise to see my spliff as a blessing in disguise. Time for the herb to win the Nobel Prize. If you know the truth of it, then you will know the use of it. If you know the roots of it, then you will know the truth in it. Say, hey, hey, hey. This is the cannabis song. Hey, 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 hey. This is the cannabis song. So I beg you not to turn your youth into criminals by declaring something good into illegal. It is helpful, it is useful, it is natural, and for your meditation, inspirational. Known all over the world, it's international. Known to Rastaman down to the cardinal. They use it as a holy sacrament, well, spiritual. The only crime about it is illegal. Hey, 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 hey. Mm-hmm. This is the cannabis song. Mm-hmm. Hey, 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 hey. This is the cannabis song. If you know the roots of it, then you will know the truth of it. If you know the roots of it, then you will know the truth of it. Hey, 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 hey. Mm-hmm. This is the cannabis song. Hey, 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 hey. Mm-hmm. This is the cannabis song. If you know the truth of it, then you will know the roots of it. If you know the roots of it, then you will know the truth of it. Hey, hey, hey. Mm-hmm. This is the cannabis song. Mm-hmm. Hey, hey. Mm-hmm. This is the cannabis song. Thank you.
Did it. Not bad. So you just heard that today for the first time.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's amazing.
Apparently, you spend your rehearsals getting high, but we certainly appreciate the work that you've done. Thank you. You're welcome.
Speaking of getting high during rehearsal, where have you been? Never mind.
Oh,
We have this sign behind me turned around because a dastardly group of Canadians have stolen our name.
it's not a prop error. It's not a mistake.
It's on purpose
All right.
because they have received a court order to stop me from using the name THCF.
What was the
want me
name?
to-
THCF?
THCF, or the Hemp and
All right.
Cannabis Foundation.
They don't want you to talk about that.
They want me to change the name and get
Oh.
rid of it. They claim that I agreed to do that, but of course I would never have never done that. But they got, based on their lies and their fraudulent contracts that they forged and presented as if they were real before the courts, they were able to get the court to turn this over. They've literally spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on attorneys to
Just
do
to
this.
keep
So
the-
do not go to THCF Medical Clinic because it's been stolen by an Israeli Canadian oil company called Adira Energy. You can look them up at Adira, A-D-I-R-A, Energy, E-N-E-R-G-Y, AdiraEnergy.com. And they have stolen everything I've done in my life. They even claim they own the name of this show. So that's why the banner's turned around. They claim that they will try to get the judge to impose a $500 a day fine if I use the name, the Hemp and Cannabis Foundation. So I am barred, at least temporarily, by a preliminary injunction and a court order from using the Hemp and Cannabis Foundation name. And you know what that means? You shouldn't use it either. Do not go to my old clinic at 18th Avenue. Do not go there. And if you want more information or you want a referral to a medical clinic anywhere in the United States that can help you, then you can call us at that number there on your screen. It's 503-235-4606. Again, that's 503-235-4606.
And they don't want you saying THCF on the show. Is that right?
Yeah, they don't. They say I have to change that name.
Because if you
they
say
claim-
THCF or if you talk
They
about
claim I should
THCF,
be fined $500 a day just for saying
THCF.
THCF or the Hemp and
Jeepers.
Cannabis Foundation. Even though I created this organization, they've stolen it from me. They fired my wife. They fired my 2 adult children who help patients. They fired my business partners, and a few of my old friends still work there, but they
Well, the weird thing
should
is
not-
they still use your voice when people call in. They have your voice on the answering machine.
I know. They want to use everything about me except me, and
Right.
I have not been paid a penny. Now, if you call them up, they will tell you that they paid me millions of dollars.
Really? Can I have some?
They will make this claim they paid me millions of dollars and I'm gone away happy, but that is not true.
You don't look
They
happy.
did not pay me a penny, and I don't even have one share of stock in my company anymore. They've completely stolen everything I created over the past 15 years, and they've sold all of our patients. If you've been a patient at THCF medical clinics, they've stolen your records and transferred them to a company in Canada
Jeepers.
called Ample Organics, a marijuana company called Ample Organics, and they're just waiting for the right moment to, if they haven't done it already, bombard all of these patients with whatever spam they can do and sell their medical records and violate their privacy. So I urge you, do not visit those dirty dogs at our old 18th Avenue office. Now, if you have a question or comment for us tonight, well, we're here for the next hour or so. You can call us at that new number that just popped up on your screen. It's 503-288-4442. Again, that's 503-288-4442. And you know we're live down here most Friday nights, though we won't be live for the next 2 weeks. We'll be gone next week and the week after. I've got a speaking engagement in Mexico City. I spoke last year at the first Expo Weed Mexico. They've invited me back to speak, so I'll be down in Mexico City. But we'll be back. I believe our next live show is on the 25th. We will have tape shows, so if you're tuning in, you can watch a pre-recorded, pre-produced show on the 11th and the 18th. Now, we do have a studio audience, and you're welcome to come down and join our studio audience, and there is an off-camera microphone for studio audience members to ask questions. And there is a person right here in our studio audience at our microphone ready to say something right now. Go right ahead, ma'am.
Oh, just about the case, about these people, what they're doing to you. I am, of course, one of the patients from Paul Stanford's clinics, which are the THCF clinics as far as I'm concerned.
They were.
Yeah.
They're not anymore.
I'm one of the patients.
I'm hoping to get it back. I haven't got it back yet.
When this all started in fall of last year, I am one of the patients that filed with the court to prevent them from allowing my medical records to go to this company and be taken to Canada. Now, of course, we know, you just talked about it. Yes, my medical records and everybody else's medical records have been taken to Canada, and it's been verified. I've been so frustrated by all of this, so angered and frustrated and at tears over what's happening to you guys. I called Ellen Rosenblum's office, our attorneys general, and I ended up talking to a very nice lady from the Office of Judicial Fitness and Disability. And I have to finish my review of the papers, but I believe that I can file a complaint against Judge Judith Matarazzo to the extent that I am involved in this case, which is only insofar as I had this filing. I wish I could file a complaint against this judge with regards to other aspects of this case, but it's not my case, so I'm not sure I can or not, but I'm going to take a good look at it. And anyone else that is motivated to do so, anyone else that's got the guts to give it a shot, any of the other patients that filed for an injunction to keep our medical records from going, I strongly encourage you to participate too. Anyway, whatever you got to say about that, Paul.
Well, I appreciate you contacting those people, and obviously, if you're interested in finding out more information about how to protect your medical rights or join with us in challenging this, please give us a call at 503-235-4606. That's 503-235-4606. That's that. So, Casper, you're back doing your show. I thought we'd be live streaming tonight, but in just checking it, we're not live streaming. I'm not sure exactly why. We keep trying week after week, but there's some problems. So we will not be live streaming now, I guess, for at least 3 more weeks because it's not up and streaming now.
Well, I have a question, Paul. Are there any exciting events that are occurring here in Oregon or Washington that if someone were planning a vacation, they might plan their vacation around?
The Seattle Hemp Fest is a huge event that happens obviously in Seattle, Washington. You can find out more at hempfest.org. That's hempfest.org. I think it's the 19th, 20th, and 21st. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's the days that it's coming. Actually, 18th, 19th, and 20th. Those are the days exactly of August. Just a couple weeks out. The Seattle Hemp Fest.
It's going to be a weird hemp fest because they can't use marijuana leaves in any of their advertising.
They can't. I didn't know that.
Yep, they're not allowed to do that. And Vivian McPete's pulling his hair out because it doesn't make sense to have a hemp fest or a medical cannabis fest and not show any hemp leaves. But according to the state, you are not allowed to include cannabis leaves in your advertising now in the state of Washington.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I got a message saying that our show is streaming live, but it's not streaming on our largest page, I believe, because I've looked at it 3 times now, and I'm not sure exactly where it's streaming, but you can watch us live on Ustream still. I believe that's coming right out of the studio here, so you can watch it there.
We know we're in your home, but we just don't know how we're there, right?
That's right.
And I love being in your home. Now, pass me that joint.
Okay. Well, I am told that I'm wrong, and it is streaming live on CRH, but when I look at it, it isn't. So I'm not sure how that works, how they think it's streaming live, but it isn't. Or it's not going out to the people who are on our page anyway. Anyway, if you have any questions or comments for us tonight, give us a call at 503-288-4442. That's 503-288-4442. So you've got your video. You're doing live streaming on Facebook now, aren't you?
I am. I've been doing live streaming on Facebook now for about 3 weeks, almost a month. About 3 weeks. As soon as we got the mess cleaned up on the website from the block.
The hacker?
That Comcast had to deal with, and GoDaddy and I. And, well, actually, I had put out a couple of videos at the end of May, right before the Comcast situation occurred. And it was amazing the response that we got. I put out the video with Jack Hare, got over 4,000 views. The one with Willie Nelson had over 2,000 views. And lately I've been putting out 20-minute and 30-minute videos, unannounced, just pop onto the Facebook and then leave them posted up there. And then a lot of people watch them afterwards. So we're going to start doing regular content on Facebook and YouTube and a few other video outlets with the intention of keeping the videos to about 20 minutes in length, no more than 30 minutes. Many people like to watch this content on their smartphones and their little handheld devices that don't have a lot of memory or RAM to download large video files. So to make it easier to share and to review, we're keeping the files small. And then we're also going to we're going to continue doing the audio releases onto Spreaker, SoundCloud, Tumblr, and doing our radio stream, our live stream on iHeartRadio. But the intention is to also start reaching into the Facebook market. Now, it's interesting. YouTube has gone out of its way to make alternative news difficult to find. And this occurred about 3 months ago, maybe even longer, when YouTube lost a lot of revenue when sponsors like Johnson & Johnson and Procter & Gamble and Coca-Cola stopped advertising on YouTube because they did not want their ads alongside content that was either pro or con a particular politician, or pro or con abortion, or pro-drug. So what's happened to people like me and others who put out alternative news, when you type in, as an example, the word hemp into a YouTube search engine, at the top of your findings will be content released from NBC, ABC, CNN, and people who have been doing content for years, like Normal, MPP, and myself, are at the bottom of the list. And so, an example, when I released the video of Willie Nelson on Facebook on the same day that I released it on YouTube, within 2 days, Facebook had about 2,000 views, and on YouTube it had 19. When I released the Jack Hare video on Facebook, within 3 days it had over 4,000 views. On YouTube it had about 20. So we're not really interested as much as we used to be in propagating our Facebook content, though we will continue to do so. But we are focusing more now on, our YouTube, but we're focusing more on Facebook and other video outlets And we're also posting this video material on our website to make it easier for people to locate. So we are expanding our mission now and our content into social media video format. And then, of course, it would also air on our Roku TV outlet as well. So we are reaching the global market with the message that the cannabis prohibition is wrong and that we need to end this prohibition against patients who need to get their medicines and farmers who want to grow a cash crop that can create over 50,000 different products. So we are not by any means getting more quiet. In fact, by any means, we are getting louder and louder. So please make it a point. You're going to start finding us more and more and more on Facebook. We'll be putting out more and more and more videos under different serial names. And we're also going to be putting out other content on other platforms to get the message out. So support us. Let people know how important it is to take Time for Hemp.
Are you going to get your old website, Time for Hemp, back up again?
Well, it is. It's back up. But
it's got a different name now.
No, if you go to timeforhemp.com, it's more like a landing page. And basically what happened is that because it's a WordPress site, we have all of our 3,000 audio files there. So if I change the URL name, I have to rehook all 3,000 files. So what I've done is I've married.
Well, there's the new
timeforhemp.com.
Hyphens. You've got hyphens
right,
in there.
To time-for-hemp.com. And basically, the timeforhemp.com is a place where you find our blog and our newsletter. And it's more like a giant billboard on the information highway for the Time for Hemp project. And time-for-hemp.com is the primary front door
All right.
to our website.
Now we understand. So check that out. We have a film clip here we're going to run. Our longtime viewers might recognize this 1943 U.S. Department of Agriculture bulletin.
Are you in it?
Hemp for Victory.
Are you in it?
Hemp for Victory. Hemp for Victory.
Long ago, when these ancient Grecian temples were new, hemp was already old in the service of mankind. For thousands of years even then, this plant had been grown for cordage and coarse cloth in China and elsewhere in the East. For centuries prior to about 1850, all the ships that sailed the western seas were rigged with hempen rope and sails. For the sailor, no less than the hangman, hemp was indispensable. A 44-gun frigate, like our cherished old Ironsides, took over 60 tons of hemp for rigging. Including an anchor cable 25 inches in circumference. The Conestoga wagons and prairie schooners of pioneer days were covered with hempen canvas. Indeed, the very word canvas comes from the Arabic word for hemp. In those days, hemp was an important crop in Kentucky and Missouri. Then came cheaper imported fibers for cordage, like jute, sisal, and manila hemp, and the culture of hemp in America declined. But now, with Philippine and East Indian sources of hemp in the hands of the Japanese, and shipment of jute from India curtailed, American hemp must meet the needs of our Army and Navy as well as of our industries. In 1942, patriotic farmers at the government's request planted 36,000 acres of seed hemp, an increase of several thousand%. The goal for 1943 is 50,000 acres of seed hemp. In Kentucky, much of the seed hemp acreage is on river bottom land such as this, along the Kentucky River Gorge. Some of these fields are inaccessible except by boat. Thus, plans are afoot for a great expansion of the hemp industry as a part of the war program. This film is designed to tell farmers how to handle this ancient crop, now little known outside Kentucky and Wisconsin. This is hemp seed. Be careful how you use it. For to grow hemp legally, you must have a federal registration and tax stamp. This is provided for in your contract. Ask your AAA committeeman or your county agent about it. Don't forget, hemp demands a rich, well-drained soil such as is found here in the bluegrass region of Kentucky or in central Wisconsin. It must be loose and rich in organic matter. Poor soils won't do. Soil that will grow good corn will usually grow hemp. Hemp is not hard on the soil. In Kentucky, it has been grown for several years on the same ground, though this practice is not recommended. A dense and shady crop, hemp tends to choke out weeds. Here's a Canada thistle that couldn't stand the competition. Dead as a dodo. Thus, hemp leaves the ground in good condition for the following crop. For fiber, hemp should be sown 5 pecks to the acre. With drill, the closer the rows, the better. These rows are spaced about 4 inches. This hemp has been broadcast. Either way, it should be sown thick enough to grow a slender stalk. Here's an ideal stand. The right height to be harvested easily, thick enough to grow slender stalks that are easy to cut and process. Stalks like these here on the left, they yield the most fiber and the best. Those on the right are too coarse and woody. For seed, hemp is planted in hills like corn, sometimes by hand. Hemp is a dioecious plant. The female flower is inconspicuous, but the male flower is easily spotted. In seed production, after the pollen has been shed, these male plants are cut out. These are the seeds on a female plant. Hemp for fiber is ready to harvest when the pollen is shedding and the leaves are falling. In Kentucky, hemp harvest comes in August. Here, the old standby has been the self-rake reaper, which has been used for a generation or more. Hemp grows so luxuriantly in Kentucky that harvesting is sometimes difficult, which may account for the popularity of the self-rake with its lateral stroke. A modified rice binder has been used to some extent. This machine works well in average hemp. Recently, the improved hemp harvester, used for many years in Wisconsin, has been introduced in Kentucky. This machine spreads the hemp in a continuous swath. It is a far cry from this fast and efficient modern harvester to the Armstrong model of yore. But here's one kind of harvester, at least, that doesn't stall in the heaviest hemp. In Kentucky, hand cutting is practiced in opening fields for the machines. In Kentucky, hemp is shucked as soon as safe after cutting, to be spread out for retting later in the fall.
Okay, so I guess we are streaming live on Facebook. We're just not able to reach it right here, but some people can. If you have a question, you can transfer those onto the text screen, and they will transfer those to us. Or you can call us live at 503-288-4442. That's 503-288-4442. Hey,
see, there we go.
It's working there, just not on my phone. Oh, well.
There you go.
So we have this banner here. So, gee, I'd never seen the Hemp for Victory video kind of broken up like that. It said reel 2. Where did that come from? I've never seen. Normally, reels. Yeah, it's like a 20-minute video. Why would it be on 2 reels? That's not the one we usually run. I'm not sure exactly why it was like that either, but we'll get some of the bugs worked out, hopefully.
See, everybody got high at rehearsal today.
Maybe that's it.
That's what it was.
Maybe that's it. And my phone's high because it can't pick it up here. Anyway, fortunately, we have a decent bill introduced by Senator Cory Booker and our own Representative Earl Blumenauer, who you wear that bow tie in honor of, I guess.
I started wearing this tie when he started becoming a champion for the cannabis movement.
All right. So you want to be like him when you grow up.
I sure do.
U.S. Congressman.
Mr. Blumentrouser.
Yeah. So we are working hard on educating people about hemp and cannabis. You can read our news stories on our Facebook page for one place. That's facebook.com/RestoreHemp. I guess that's where the show is streaming now. There it is. Seems to be streaming there. It's not streaming for everybody, though. I'm not sure exactly why. But we'll hopefully figure that out sometime soon. When I try to load it on my phone, it says it has crashed, and we don't know why. It's just some error message from Facebook. Maybe it's that thing you were talking about, how they're trying to block the views. Or is it YouTube you were accusing of doing that?
No, that was Comcast.
Comcast.
That was Comcast that was doing that.
Okay. Well, I could have sworn I heard you talking about YouTube and
No,
Facebook.
YouTube is trying to make it difficult for people to find your content.
I see.
If you're an alternative news outlet, which Time for Hemp is. And I make it very clear that we do give out the truth. We don't give out alternative news or fake news. And that's what makes our network so important. But YouTube has made it a point to not only my channel, but many other channels. And there's many activists on YouTube that are complaining about this and are moving their content to Facebook and to other platforms. So if you type into a YouTube search engine, you can find a lot of activists complaining about this by typing in their YouTube takes a dump, YouTube says goodbye to content, YouTube has problems keeping, it'll all start popping up. And once you find and plus I got a couple of playlists on my channel you can find as well. But YouTube is not eager to promote alternative news. It wants something that Procter & Gamble will sponsor and that Pepsi will put their ads alongside. And of course the big media outlets are now paying YouTube money to make certain that when you do a search that their content comes up in the search engine at a higher ranking than anybody else's. So it's an unfair game when you go to YouTube. And we're realizing it, and we're moving our content to other places where the game is fair.
Okay. Well, I guess YouTube is owned by Google and has been for some time, so it must be a Google policy. Right here, as we've shown a couple of times, we have our hemp flame of freedom. And this is a hemp oil flame. And we are demonstrating that hemp is a biofuel. This is hemp seed oil, little thing of hemp seed oil here. This is the seed oil of marijuana seeds, or hemp seeds. And so the seeds have been pressed. We have the oil. This is a hemp wick. It's next week's wick is right in this bundle of fiber here. And so the main reason marijuana was made illegal has nothing to do with drugs. It's always been about money and power and the continued centralization of economic and political control. I've said for many years it's the petrochemical, pharmaceutical, military, industrial, transnational, corporate elite, fascist sons of a bitches who gave us marijuana prohibition. And now those fascist sons of a bitches have stolen our clinics and our business and our livelihood. So I want to urge you, do not go to our old clinic on 18th Avenue or any of the others across the United States. They have been seized by the petrochemical, pharmaceutical, military, industrial, transnational, corporate elite, fascist sons of a bitches, a deep state group that infiltrated our organization based on fraudulently forged documents, got the court to give them control of our company. And so do not visit that clinic on 18th Avenue. And if you'd like more information, we have a physician referral service, and you can call us at this number here on your screen. It's 503-235-4606. Again, that's 503-235-4606. And do we have another video ready to go yet? Okay, well maybe we'll get one here. So what have you got to say, Casper?
I have to say that people need to get out and in their communities and get busy to let the world know how important it is to end cannabis prohibition. That is how this message gets passed normally from one friend to another. or are people sharing URLs or books or sometimes a variety of videos. And the most important way to get this message out is to do it personally. And when people see you spreading the message, they have more of an inclination to get involved as well. So if you think that you can't make a difference, that's not true. There's an amazing song called Reasons put out by Earth, Wind & Fire. The live version has the singer hitting a very high note when all the music stops. And then when you hear the studio version, that note's not there, but in your mind you hear it. That's how important one voice can be. And one voice can make a big difference. So get out, get active, get busy in your community, and let the whole world know how important it is to end cannabis prohibition. Thank you, Paul.
Sure. So for more information about us, you can go to our political website. That is crrh.org. It's another one of those properties that this Canadian petrochemical company claims to own, but they haven't stolen from us yet. They've stolen our old website, thc-foundation.org. And again, do not visit our clinic at 18th Avenue. Those folks are lying scoundrels. They're thieving dogs. And we urge you to instead give us a call for more information at 503-235-4606. That's 503-235-4606.
What's up with Jeffrey Beauregard Sessions? He wants to amp up the war on drugs, start arresting more and more people who are involved in cannabis use, and he's definitely sure that any type of cannabis use is used by bad people, and it makes you a bad person. And he said he even used to like the Ku Klux Klan until he found out that members of the KKK smoked herbs. So what is up with our Attorney General, Paul?
Well, he wants to start the DARE program for high school kids again, even though it's shown it was counterproductive. He wants to start the Drug Abuse Resistance Education, our DARE program, where police go into our classrooms and kind of glamorize drug use, and it makes more kids use drugs, actually. But Jeffrey Sessions thinks that somehow that will help us, but obviously it hasn't worked, and it had been discontinued. But that's one of the things he wants to do. Also, just a couple weeks ago, the governors of Oregon, Colorado, Alaska sent a letter to Sessions saying, don't interfere in our state adult use marijuana programs. And Sessions wrote a letter back to Governor Inslee up in Washington saying, explain why your state's violating the Cole Memorandum and trying to overturn marijuana legalization in Washington. He thinks that somehow the state of Washington is not following the Cole Memorandum, even though they very clearly are. So Sessions deserves to be drawn and quartered, if you ask me. Or at least slapped around a little bit.
Be careful, you might get sued for saying that.
You think so? I don't know. If we got that video ready yet? No video yet. We'll keep talking, Casper.
No, all right. Do make it a point to let people know about timeforhemp.com. We will be having a new newsletter sometime during the course of this month. Our blogs are current. We put up 3 or 4 new blogs each week. We try to make it a point to get new information out. This week we talked about how to beat the heat if you're growing outside, how to protect your plants from this horrible heat that many states are contending with. So you can get all kinds of great tips on cultivation by going to time-for-hemp.com.
All right. Or you can go to crrh.org. And here's that video clip. I think it's ready to go now. We'll be back in a moment.
One, two, this is Jabala and I, John Denver, son, got to love. We done it all around the island, see? Million first, yeah, ever live with 1, 2, 1, 2.
There's our friend Jorge Cervantes, person who's written about marijuana horticulture for about 30 years, originally from Portland here, with his little time lapse of a marijuana garden. I like that video. Went right up to October 8th. Pretty good day. I guess our show is streaming. For some reason I can't get it on my smartphone, but I've been shown on our screen. There it is. However, our phone lines are not working. I've been told that people trying to call into the phone and ask a question on our show receive a message saying all lines are busy. Well, the lines are not busy. That number is the correct number to call. We have no lines ringing. But you're blocked, and we know that you're trying to call, but for some reason your calls are being blocked. Probably about the same reason that the video is being blocked here. Somehow we're being attacked by the forces of evil yet again.
There you go.
The forces of evil out there, including Adira Energy and the folks at my old clinic, are unethical, and dirty, rotten thieves. So I remind you again, do not visit any of my old clinics. They're now known as Empower Healthcare, used to be known as THCF Medical Clinics. For more information, call me at 503-235-4606. You can leave a message there 24/7. Call us at 503-235-4606. Mr. John Cornett is standing by, ready to play some music. Have you got something to say, Casper, before we go off here?
Yes, I want to thank people for tuning in. We're going to miss you these next 3 weeks, but we're going to have great content for you to still tune in and watch. When we come back, we'll have a lot to share with you and get up to date. Please go to time-for-hemp.com. Check out our new content. Find us on Facebook, where we're doing our video content as well. And since we are keeping our videos to a small file and easy to share, please do share us with your friends. Thank you, Paul.
All right, thank you, Casper. I want to thank you folks for watching. John Cornett's ready to play some music. Again, if you need to reach us, give us a call at 503-235-4606. Not that number that's there on your screen, but this other number that might pop up there if our CG guy's on it. It's 503-235-4606. There it is. Give us a call at that number, 503-235-4606. Thanks for watching. Tune in next week. Thank you, John. Thank you, Casper. Thank you, viewers. Help us restore hemp.
We like train wreck, Northern Lights. We like Shrek too. It's our diesel. Life is good, oh yeah. Life is good, Life is good for you and me. So good, so good, so good, so good. We like God, but purple haze. We like cheese too, Cinderella. Life is good. Life is good, oh yeah. Life is good for you and me. So good, so good, so good, so good. Well, it don't matter which you like.